Hello, dear friends. Today we have a totally crazy mode. SKIBID Toilet Berries Prison Run. Can you believe it? Tim will be escaping from SKIBID toilets. Yes, you heard that right. These creepy toilets have set up a real challenge for us, and Tim has to escape from this insane prison without getting caught.
But before we dive into this wild adventure, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. Every subscription helps us create even more exciting videos so you can enjoy these thrilling moments with us.
And don't forget to hit that like button. If you're loving this idea and want to see more strange and interesting modes, your like will really help us out.
Of course, leave your comments. Tell us which part of today's video surprised you the most or what gave you the chills. Or maybe you have ideas for future modes. We'd love to hear everything you have to say.
And don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss out on new episodes. We've got a lot of exciting content coming your way, so get ready for incredible adventures.
Guys, do you smell that nasty odor? It seems like the smell of toilets. How disgusting. It's just unbearable. Let's hurry up and escape from this revolting prison before it gets even worse.
No, I don't feel anything at all. Maybe it's because my nose is stuffed, or I've just gotten so used to these smells that I don't even notice them anymore. But honestly, I'm kind of glad I can't smell that stench, because judging by how you describe it, I'd definitely be furious.
Just look at this. Under us is that stinky and disgusting toilet. It's so unpleasant to be so close to that horrible place. Every time I see that filth and smell that repulsive odor, it gives me chills. The stench seeps through the walls and seems to fill the air around us. I can't wait to get out of this terrible place.
Can you imagine what our boy Tim has to go through? All these disgusting places, these terrible smells. It's overwhelming. Every moment he spends in this dreadful environment must be so stressful. I really think he deserves a lot of support right now. So if you can, please give him a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot and help him keep going through these tough challenges.
Story time. Story will be about how Tim went on a round-the-world journey. This story began when Tim decided to fulfill his long-held dream, to embark on a round-the-world journey. Imagine him, full of enthusiasm and joy, preparing for this adventure. His eyes sparkled as he gathered everything he needed, a world map, travel guides, and of course his favorite backpack. Tim was brimming with anticipation as he was about to see new countries, meet different cultures, and make many exciting discoveries. It was so inspiring that even I, Joy, found it hard to contain my excitement. Tim had dreamed of this journey for so long, and now finally his dream was coming true.
But unfortunately, joy doesn't always go hand in hand with reality. When Tim crossed the border of his country and found himself in a completely unfamiliar place, anxiety started to build up. We have to admit that traveling doesn't always go as planned, and this is especially evident when you're far from home. Tim faced unexpected challenges, language barriers, changing weather, and complex transportation systems. In each new country, he felt his anxiety grow as he constantly wondered, what if I get lost? Or what if I can't find my way back? These thoughts haunted him, and anxiety, found it very difficult to watch his distress.
And then, as if adding insult to injury, came a moment when everything became simply unbearable. When Tim encountered several unsuccessful attempts to find accommodation and places where he was simply ignored, my anger couldn't stay out of it. He spent hours trying to figure out local rules and find alternative options, and it really made him feel frustrated. Imagine long queues, incorrectly booked tickets, and constant delays. All of this triggered a storm of emotions, and I, anger, fully felt Tim's struggle with these trials. How could anyone not get angry when everything goes wrong as planned?
But strangely enough, the toughest moments aren't always about irritation. When Tim found himself in places that clearly didn't meet his expectations, such as dirty hotels or crowded markets with unbearable smells, disgust, found it hardest to stay in the background. He faced situations that caused him deep disgust. Unkempt conditions, unpleasant odors, and poor hygiene. At times, this became a real challenge, and Tim, with no other option, had to accept it as part of his journey. Disgust, saw his internal discomfort grow vividly, and it was far from pleasant.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim didn't give up. He continued his journey, and each obstacle was overcome, each barrier crossed. His determination and willpower helped him handle any challenges, and in the end, he found satisfaction in what he saw and experienced. Joy, anxiety, anger, and disgust were all part of his journey, and although each of us contributed to his emotions, Tim learned to manage them and move forward. And while it was sometimes hard, the journey made his experience much richer and more valuable.
We all see how Tim became more confident and adaptable to the unexpected, and although anxiety still occasionally bothers him, he learned to handle it. This experience taught him how important patience and flexibility are, and how even the toughest situations can offer valuable lessons.
Despite all the difficulties and irritations, Tim understands that every challenge is an opportunity to become better. And while it's sometimes hard to deal with one's own anger, he learned to turn it into energy for achieving goals.
And although moments of disgust were unpleasant, Tim learned to handle them and view them as part of the adventure. He realized that every experience, even the most unpleasant, could be a valuable lesson.
So, this is how Tim completed his round-the-world journey. He returned home filled with incredible memories and new knowledge. And although his path was full of emotions and trials, every moment made his journey unique and unforgettable. And the next story will be about how Tim got stuck in Groundhog Day. Imagine, guys, one day Tim wakes up and realizes that every day is repeating itself. Imagine this. He wakes up in the morning, thinking everything is as usual, but then he notices strange things. For example, he already knows that the neighbor outside will trip, the bus will always arrive a minute late, and that his mom has again forgotten to turn off the kitchen light. It all seems so funny. After all, you can live this day however you want without worrying about consequences because tomorrow it all starts over again. Tim even began to test this in practice. He did some silly and funny things that he would normally never do. What fun, right? But then,
of course, the realization comes that something isn't right. Imagine how strange it becomes when every day is the same. Tim began to worry. What if I never get out of this loop? What if every day keeps repeating over and over and I can't do anything to change it? These thoughts wouldn't leave him alone, and every new morning alarm sounded more and more ominous. Every morning he woke up with a heavy feeling in his chest, knowing that another day without changes awaited him. Anxiety, couldn't stand to watch this calmly.
And that's when anger, stepped in. Imagine how frustrating it is to constantly face the same people, hear the same phrases, and know that there will be no consequences. It was all so infuriating for Tim. At one point, he even started to rebel against the day, trying to break the system, do something unexpected, scream, throw things, but it was all in vain. Everything returned to the start, and that only made him angrier. How can you be calm in such a situation when nothing can be changed? I felt the irritation boiling inside him, and I couldn't hold back this fury either.
But that's not all. Imagine how tiring it is to do the same thing every day, see the same faces, experience the same events. Everything starts to feel so dull, so disgusting. Tim couldn't stand seeing the same breakfasts, the same faces at school, hearing the same stories on TV. Everything around him became gray and gross. Disgust, could barely breathe from this monotony and sameness, and Tim felt the same way. He longed for something new, for some change, but he couldn't achieve it.
but you know what's most interesting? In the end, Tim realized that the only way to escape this endless loop was to change himself. He understood that every new day was a chance to become better, try something new, and find joy in the little things. And when he really started to do things differently, caring for others, learning new things, being attentive to those around him, this day finally changed. The next day he woke up, and everything was new. The lesson is that sometimes, to change the world around you, you first need to change yourself. Well, friends, it's time to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventures. Your comments are also very important to us, So be sure to let us know what you liked and what you'd like to see in the future. Good luck to everyone, and see you soon. Hey there, everyone! Get ready for a fun and exciting adventure because today we're diving into the Easy Grow obby. But this one's not your typical obby. Oh no, this time you have to change your size to fit through all the crazy obstacles. That's right, we'll be growing taller and shrinking down to get through each challenging stage. Doesn't that sound awesome? Imagine towering over everything like a giant or sneaking through tight spots like a tiny mouse.
Yeah, it does sound fun, but, don't forget to be careful, everyone. Changing size isn't as easy as it looks. What if we accidentally grow too big and can't fit through a narrow passage? Or what if we shrink down too much and get stuck somewhere? There are so many things that could go wrong, but don't worry, we'll figure it out together, right?
Exactly, Anxiety. That's what makes this obby so much fun. It's all about figuring out the right size at the right time. We'll need to be quick, clever, and maybe a little bit daring. But I know we can do it. And hey, while we're tackling these challenges, don't forget to smash that like button if you're as excited as we are. Also, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on any of our fun adventures. And we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know how far you got in this obby and if you have any cool tips for us.
Yeah, comments are super helpful. And subscribing means you'll be the first to know when we're taking on another crazy obby or trying something new. And we love hearing from you. It makes this whole journey so much better knowing you're with us every step of the way. So please share your thoughts, your strategies, or even what part of the obby made you nervous. I mean, challenged you the most.
Let's not waste any more time, shall we? I'm so ready to see just how big or small we can go. Who's with us? Let's show this obby who's boss and make it through with flying colors. And remember, the most important thing is to have fun and enjoy the ride. After all, that's what gaming is all about, right?
Absolutely. But also, don't forget to be cautious and plan your moves. We've got this. Together, we can handle whatever this obby throws at us. So let's do this, team. I'll be right here, keeping an eye on everything and making sure we don't miss any details.
Story time. The story will be about how we used to be in the head of a scientist who invented a cure for a very dangerous disease. Oh, how thrilled I was that we ended up in the mind of such a smart person. Our scientist was incredibly talented and kind. He dedicated his whole life to science, and his goal was to save many lives. From the very beginning, we felt that it was our destiny to help him in this challenging task. Every day was a new discovery for us. I tried to inspire him, reminding him of how important his work was and how many people were waiting for his success. When he found new solutions, his heart was filled with joy, and at those moments, I felt incredibly needed. It was in those moments that he understood he was on the right track.
But it wasn't all that simple. How I raged when he encountered obstacles. Whenever something went wrong, I was literally overwhelmed with fury. Failures were frequent in the lab. Experiments didn't yield the desired results. Formulas didn't match, and each of his setbacks felt like a blow to my heart. And then I came to the rescue. Yes, I know that sometimes anger can seem destructive, but at that moment, I became his driving force. I made him fight, not give up, and push through. I embodied the fire that burned away everything in its path and cleared the way for new solutions. In those moments, our scientist realized he had to keep fighting and seek new ways to solve the problem.
Oh, and for me, it was a real test. I was constantly worried that something might go wrong. Every time he opened a new scientific journal or tried to create a new medicine, I couldn't sit still. I knew that people's lives were at stake, and every mistake could have fatal consequences. I literally didn't let him relax, constantly reminding him of the risks, that everything needed to be checked, recounted, and checked again. Every test tube, every formula was a reason for concern. I knew I had to make him be as careful as possible because the cost of a mistake was too high. But I tried to keep myself together, knowing that his focus and attentiveness depended on me.
And for me, it was a real nightmare. The lab. How unpleasant it all was. Those chemical smells, colorful liquids, strange substances. It all filled me with indescribable disgust. But I understood that if I didn't closely monitor all this, the scientist might make a mistake. I tried to keep him from using questionable ingredients and making wrong steps. When he suddenly decided to try a new reagent, I immediately felt that it could be dangerous. I literally screamed in his mind that it was the wrong decision, and he heard me. He decided to conduct additional tests and realized that I was right. That was the moment when my sense of disgust saved him from a mistake that could have cost him not only the results, but also his career.
And you know, throughout all this time, we felt that it was our collective effort. We fought, worried, and rejoiced together. And when he finally found the right formula, when the medicine was ready, I couldn't contain my joy. It was a real miracle. We knew we had saved many lives, and it was our greatest achievement. The scientist was recognized worldwide. His name became a symbol of hope for thousands of people. And although we return to the mind of another person, we will always remember this experience as one of the most significant in our lives.
We proved that even in the most challenging situations, you can find a way out if you're not afraid to fight until the end.
And if you care about every person, every life, you will definitely find the strength to be careful and attentive.
And even the most unpleasant moments can be useful if you notice and correct them in time.
Today, we embark on an exciting adventure that took place many years ago. Imagine a world where a robot, our main hero, fought against evil robots to save the planet. I, Joy, was in his head, and my role was to keep his spirits up and maintain his morale even in the darkest times. My favorite moment was when the robot first started his mission. He looked so brave that it was impossible not to feel joy for him. When he successfully won one of the battles, I felt his heart fill with pride. We shared every moment of victory, every difficulty, and rejoiced in every small triumph. These moments were not only our victories, but also our lessons. I supported him through tough times and celebrated with him in moments of triumph.
Oh, and that's just part of the story. Anger was with him when things didn't go as planned. My role was to fire him up when setbacks piled up on his path. Remember that battle against the evil robot when our hero faced unexpected difficulties? I was in his mind when, enraged by his mistakes and failures, he transcended his own limitations. At such moments, I literally exploded with rage, fueling his determination and helping him not to give up. My presence intensified his resolve, and he tackled every challenge despite all obstacles. I was his inner drive, his passion, and the force that pushed him towards victory.
And I, Anxiety, played a crucial role in this journey by ensuring that our robot was always on alert and didn't miss important details. My job was to warn him of potential dangers and remind him of possible risks. I remember when he discovered the evil robot's plan to destroy energy sources. I was constantly raising alarms when he approached potential traps or threats. My anxiety helped him act cautiously, plan his steps, and avoid possible dangers. It was a tense time, but I knew my work was crucial for his safety and the success of the mission.
And I, Disgust, was present when our robot faced the most repulsive situations, such as dealing with dirty and ruined areas, or, even worse, with robots using dirty tricks and cunning tactics. I recall how he looked at the disgusting condition of their bases, and I was just horrified by everything he saw. I helped him cope with these unpleasant situations by maintaining his resilience and motivation. I reminded him that, despite all these horrible and unpleasant things, he needed to keep moving forward for the greater good. My presence, though unpleasant, gave him strength and confidence. So, our robot overcame all challenges with the help of us, his internal emotions and helpers. We all worked together in his great mission, and thanks to this, the world was saved. Each of us was important and indispensable in this thrilling and complex story. And despite all the trials he went through, he continued to move forward knowing that he had reliable allies inside him who were always ready to help.
Well, our review has come to an end, and I'm so glad we could spend this time together. I hope you enjoyed our Easy Grow Obby mode. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your feedback is very important to us, and your likes and subscriptions help us keep creating these exciting videos for you. Also, if you have ideas for future videos or suggestions for modes, be sure to share them in the comments. We always love to hear your thoughts and ideas. Thank you for being with us, and see you soon in the next videos. Goodbye, friends! Hello, dear friends. Today, we are going to escape from the Pomni prison. But before we start, let's all give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This will help our boy Tim to complete challenges more often so that videos can come out more frequently. Let's get started with the escape.
Yes, let's get started.
I heard that Pomni can be beautiful, but you should never fall for this provocation. It's a trap. That's how she lures people in and then locks them in a cage. Therefore, you must always remember that she is very evil and bad. Remember, you can never judge someone as good just because of their appearance. Inside, that person could be very bad and betray you at any moment.
Yes, I agree with Anger. You can never put your hopes on someone just because of their beauty.
I think you need to break that grate with the key on the wall. Take this key and break the grate so we can move forward.
Wow, everything here is so colorful, but I don't like it at all. She probably lures people in not only with her beauty, but also with the brightness and vividness of her rooms. But we mustn't pay attention to that either. Otherwise, we'll end up behind bars again and have to escape all over.
She runs much faster than the usual guards. Although it's strange because men are usually faster and more enduring, but apparently not this time. I think she runs day and night to catch her captives. Otherwise, she wouldn't catch anyone.
Yes, she is fast. But our boy Tim is much faster than her. She will never catch him, even if she trained every day to run faster than she currently can. That's because Tim is naturally strong, fast, and enduring. This helps him escape from all kinds of troubles.
I really dislike the brightness of her rooms. It's blinding and irritating to my eyes. I feel like if we don't get out of here soon, we might go blind from all this bright color.
Wow, we've descended into some kind of cave or underground tunnel. Perhaps it was dug by previous escapees from this prison. Despite being underground, it's still very bright here. It looks like colorful and vivid crystals have grown everywhere. The bright light reminds me of fireworks that are set off during various celebrations, such as New Year's, birthdays, and so on.
There are some platforms here. I think we need to jump across them to move forward. Tim, be careful when you're jumping. One wrong move, and you'll fall straight into the lava.
Let's not distract Tim and let him complete this level, so we'll tell the story of how Tim learned to ride a bicycle. One day, Tim decided he wanted to learn how to ride a bike. It was a warm, sunny day, perfect for a new adventure. I, Joy, couldn't wait to help Tim tackle this challenge. Tim took his new bike and went to the empty street near his house. "What an exciting moment," I exclaimed. "Tim is about to do something new and thrilling. I'm sure he'll have a great time." At first, Tim was a little nervous, but I encouraged him. "You can do it, Tim. It's going to be fun and amazing. You'll feel the wind in your hair and the freedom of movement." He put on his helmet and grabbed the handlebars with determination. We were all supporting him.
As Tim began trying to balance, anxiety started to worry. Oh no, what if he falls? What if he gets hurt? What if he can't learn to ride and gets upset? I fretted, watching his every move. Biking can be dangerous. I hope he's careful and doesn't get into trouble.
I, Anger, was irritated by all the difficulties Tim faced. Why does riding a bike have to be so hard? I grumbled. Why can't he just learn immediately? It's so frustrating when things don't go smoothly. But despite my frustration, I knew it was important to support Tim. He has to deal with these challenges to get better, I said. But it's definitely annoying when he falls and makes mistakes.
Disgust watched the process with thinly veiled disdain. Ew, look at those dirty knees and elbows from falling. Why does biking have to be so messy and unpleasant? The sweat and dirt are awful, I complained. But Tim isn't giving up despite all the unpleasant moments. We need to support him, even if it's really gross.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim kept practicing diligently. His efforts paid off, and one day he finally managed to ride without falling. "Look at that! He did it!" I cheered. "He learned to ride a bike." All our support and encouragement helped him get through the challenges. He's so proud of himself, and it's such a joy to see his success.
Although Tim succeeded, I still worried a bit. I hope he's careful on the road and always wears his helmet. Biking can be dangerous, but he did great today. I'm glad he learned to ride, but I'll keep worrying about his safety.
I had to admit that seeing Tim finally riding without falling made me a little less irritated. All right, maybe it wasn't as easy as it seemed, and he handled the challenges well. Despite the frustrations, he overcame all the obstacles. Maybe biking isn't so bad after all.
Even though the process of learning to ride a bike was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's satisfaction made it more tolerable. I suppose it's worth it if he's happy. Maybe next time won't be so gross. We just have to get through the unpleasant moments to enjoy the success. In the end, Tim's experience learning to ride a bike was memorable, filled with challenges and achievements. Despite all our different feelings, we were all proud of how he learned and succeeded in his new skill.
Before we start the next story, we'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. The next story will be about Tim's first experience at a concert of his favorite band.
The day Tim had been waiting for had finally arrived. His first concert of his favorite band. Joy, was absolutely thrilled for him. Tim had been counting down the days and preparing for this moment for weeks. When the big day came, he wore his favorite band t-shirt, packed his tickets, and headed to the venue with a huge smile on his face. "This is going to be amazing," I cheered. Tim is about to experience something he's dreamed about for so long. The music, the atmosphere, the excitement. It's going to be unforgettable. As Tim walked into the venue, I felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. Look at him. He's so excited and ready for this experience. It's going to be one of the best nights of his life.
But as Tim got closer to the venue, anxiety started to creep in. What if he loses his tickets? What if there's a problem with the entrance? What if the concert is sold out and he can't get in? I worried, watching him with concern. There are so many things that could go wrong. I hope everything goes smoothly for him. Inside the venue, I continued to fret. The crowd looks huge. What if Tim gets lost or overwhelmed by all the people? What if he has trouble finding his seat? Anxiety was on high alert, hoping that Tim would stay calm and enjoy the concert despite any potential issues.
Anger was feeling frustrated by some of the challenges Tim faced. Why is it so crowded? Why are people pushing and shoving? This is so annoying, I grumbled. It's so irritating when people don't respect personal space. Why can't everyone just be considerate and let Tim enjoy the concert? As the concert started, I became even more irritated. The noise is so loud. Why does it have to be this overwhelming? It's just not fair to Tim that the sound is so intense and the crowd is so chaotic.
Disgust had its own issues with the concert experience. Look at all the spilled drinks and trash on the floor. Why does it have to be so messy? The sticky floors and the smell of sweat are just gross, I complained. And the smell of food mixed with all the sweat is really unpleasant. Despite the mess, Disgust acknowledged that Tim was having a good time. Even though it's disgusting here, I suppose it's worth it if Tim is enjoying the concert. It's just something we have to deal with in these kinds of situations.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim was having an incredible time. The band came on stage, and the music was just as amazing as he had hoped. Look at him. He's so happy, singing along and enjoying every moment. This is exactly what he dreamed of, and it's such a joy to see him so thrilled. Tim's excitement was contagious, and even though there were some challenges, the overall experience was fantastic. He's living his dream right now. This night will be a cherished memory for him for years to come.
Even as the concert went on, I was still a bit anxious. I hope Tim stays safe and has a good time. The crowd can be overwhelming, but he seems to be handling it well. I'm relieved that he's enjoying himself despite the challenges.
As the concert went on, I had to admit that the frustration of the crowd and the noise seemed less significant. Okay, maybe it wasn't perfect, and there were some annoying moments, but Tim is really enjoying himself. I suppose the experience is worth the inconvenience.
Even though the venue was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's joy made it more bearable. It's still gross here, but if Tim is happy, that's what matters. We just have to get through the unpleasant aspects to enjoy the success of his experience. In the end, Tim's first concert experience was memorable, filled with excitement and challenges. Despite all our different feelings, we were all happy to see how much he enjoyed his favorite band's performance.
Well, the game is coming to an end, and Tim has defeated the final boss. I think he's learned that sometimes appearances can be deceiving and can lead to very bad consequences. It's important to always stay vigilant and cautious to avoid trouble. I hope you've already liked the video and subscribed to the channel. Well, I'm signing off now. Goodbye, everyone. Hello, dear friends. I'm Joy, and I'm so happy you're with us today.
Hey there, I'm Anger. Ready for something really exciting? We've got something special for you.
Hi, it's Anxiety. I hope you're all doing well. Today's adventure will be a bit tense, but we'll get through it together.
Hi, this is Disgust. I hope you're all ready for new challenges and interesting moments. Let's get started.
Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. It helps us keep doing what we love.
And leave comments so we know which adventures you like the most.
Yes, and share your thoughts. It's important for us to know what you think.
Ready? Then let's go. Let's start our adventure.
Today, Tim and I are going to play Roblox in the Escape Baby Bobby daycare mode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and very exciting.
Yeah, let's see if we can escape this daycare. It better be challenging.
I'm already feeling a bit nervous. Daycares can be full of surprises.
Let's just hope it's not too messy. I'm not a fan of sticky situations.
All right, let's get started and see what adventures await us.
Oh no, look at this huge room. And there are so many platforms to jump across. What if Tim misses and falls? These platforms are so small and far apart. What if he loses his balance? It's so scary. I don't know if he can do it.
Calm down. Tim can do this. He just needs to focus and be careful. It's a test of strength and endurance, and Tim will pass it. Stop doubting. If Tim gets nervous, he will definitely fall. He needs to stay focused and act confidently. We have to support him, not scare him, so let's cheer him on together.
You're right, Anger. It's just, I can't help worrying. I hope everything goes well. Okay, I'll try not to stress so much. Go, Tim, you can do it. We believe in you.
That's better. Hey, Tim, watch each platform carefully, take confident steps, and don't rush. You can do this. Imagine you're a hero overcoming all obstacles in your path. You got this. We believe in you.
Today we have an incredible story about Tim who accidentally found a magical flying skateboard. Yes, you heard it right. A skateboard that can fly. Tim was over the moon when he first soared through the air, and this was the start of his amazing adventure.
But joy was short-lived. As soon as Tim began using the skateboard, he ran into problems. Evil trolls appeared in town, wanting to steal the magical skateboard. They were a real threat. Tim and his friends had to fight to protect the skateboard from these nasty trolls.
Every time the trolls showed up, I was filled with worry. I always feared for Tim's safety. For instance, when the trolls captured one of Tim's friends, he had to carry out a dangerous rescue in underground catacombs. Every step was fraught with danger, and I was terrified at the thought of something bad happening.
I can't forget what Tim had to endure. When he sneaked into the troll's lair, he stumbled upon a disgusting swamp full of sticky, foul-smelling slime. The trolls lived in filth, and their lair was filled with unpleasant odors and revolting creatures. I was just appalled by what was happening.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim showed incredible courage and ingenuity. He used the magical skateboard to skillfully maneuver through obstacles and escape from the trolls. In the end, he managed to defeat the trolls and return the skateboard to its rightful place so no one else would be hurt.
Yes, Tim did it, but it was a real battle. The trolls not only wanted the skateboard, but also destroyed half the town. Every moment was filled with conflict and aggression.
But despite all the fears and worries, Tim and his friends managed to overcome. They learned to work together and use their strengths to tackle every challenge. It was very tense, but the outcome was worth it.
And even though the adventure was full of unpleasant moments, Tim showed that with determination and bravery, you can overcome any obstacle, no matter how awful.
So, kids, that was an amazing adventure. Thanks for spending this time with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on new stories and adventures of Tim. And the next story will be about Tim, who unexpectedly found himself in an incredible world where every day repeats over and over as if he had entered Groundhog Day. At first, it seemed amazing and fun, as Tim could do anything without worrying about the consequences.
But, as often happens, not everything was smooth. Tim quickly realized that each day repeated with small but annoying changes. Even simple things, like the order in his room or what he did in the morning, became a constant source of irritation. He tried to change his actions, but nothing could alter the fact that everything started from scratch again.
What worried me the most was that Tim didn't know when this endless day would end. Every time he thought he found a way to escape or change something, he woke up again on the same day. This created a huge sense of anxiety because he didn't know how to cope with the cycle.
And not only that. Every day, Tim faced the same unpleasant things. The memories of having to clean dirty spots in the house or repeatedly tidy up things that were already cleaned were just disgusting. All of this made Tim's day even more unpleasant.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim found a way to use this strange situation to his advantage. He learned to make each thing better than before. He used every repetitive day to perfect his skills, help others, and have fun. It was amazing how he turned even the most ordinary moments into something special.
Even though he continued to face annoying repetitions, Tim learned to deal with it. He stopped getting angry at every little mishap and started using his new skills to overcome challenges.
I saw how Tim became more confident and calm despite the constant repetition of the day. He learned to manage his anxiety by focusing on his goals and trying not to worry about when it would all end.
And even though many things remained unpleasant, Tim learned to take lessons from them. He stopped complaining about dirty and disgusting things and began to see them from a new perspective. It was unexpected but still useful.
In the end, when Tim learned to find joy in every moment and used his experience to improve the lives of those around him, the Groundhog Day ended. He returned to normal time, but with new knowledge and skills that helped him handle any difficulty.
And although the path was long and irritating, Tim managed to overcome this challenge and became stronger.
I was so happy to see Tim learn to cope with anxiety and find a way to handle any situation.
Yes, and even despite all the unpleasant moments, Tim was able to use his skills to make his life better. It was truly amazing.
And the next story will be about how Tim found himself on a magical island where all wishes come true. This island was full of amazing things: flying crystals, talking animals, and an ocean of chocolate milk. Tim was on cloud 9 with happiness.
But not everything was so rosy. The island had its problems. At first, Tim struggled with magical creatures who often got their wishes mixed up, leading to mishaps. Some island games were incredibly difficult and even frustrating.
I was worried about the unpredictability of the island. Every day, something new and strange happened. Snake rain, unexpected disappearances of objects, and unpredictable behavior from magical creatures. Tim didn't know what to expect, and it made him very anxious.
And I was grossed out by how some magical creatures left their mess everywhere. These creatures were messy, and there was dirt and sticky spots all over the place. Tim tried to find a way to deal with this mess, but it was quite a challenge.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim didn't miss a chance to enjoy the happy moments. He explored the island, met kind creatures, and took part in amazing adventures. In the end, he found a way to use the island's magic to make his day even more magical.
Although the island was full of challenges, Tim learned to handle them. He used his skills to overcome the toughest trials and turned frustration into motivation.
Over time, Tim got used to the strange and unpredictable events. He began to adapt to the new rhythm of life on the island and even found joy in unexpected twists.
Tim also found ways to deal with the dirt and mess. He became more tolerant of inconveniences and learned to find pleasure even in the least appealing aspects of island life.
Thus, Tim completed his adventure on the magical island, full of wonders and amazing discoveries. He learned to find joy even in tough situations and made the experience unforgettable.
Tim became stronger and more confident despite all the difficulties.
He learned to handle unexpected situations and grew more self-assured.
And even the dirt and mess didn't ruin his adventure. Tim learned to cope with inconveniences and find something positive in them.
So our adventure ends on a high note, with new knowledge and experiences that Tim will remember for a long time. Well, our stories have come to an end. We hope you enjoyed listening to them as much as we enjoyed telling them. We put a lot of heart into them and tried to make them interesting and exciting for you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue creating new and thrilling adventures for you.
Yeah, and every like, every subscription, and every comment really matters to us. We want our stories to reach as many people as possible, and your support helps us a lot. Don't forget to leave comments so we know what stories you want to hear next. Your thoughts and suggestions are very valuable to us.
Thank you for being with us today. Avoid dirty situations unless they're in a story. Keep your space clean and your heart joyful. We're happy to share these moments with you and hope our stories bring you joy and inspiration.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time. Hello, dear friends. As usual, we have joy, anxiety, anger, and disgust here. Today, Tim will be playing a mode called Escape Sadness Barry's Prison Run. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get started.
Oh no! Why did sadness lock us up here, in this colorful yet terribly scary prison? We need to find a way out of here. This place looks deceptively bright, but I feel there are many dangers lurking around. Tim, be careful. Every step could be a trap. Let's combine our efforts and find an exit. Guys, we need your support more than ever. Subscribe, hit the like button, and let's get through this challenge together.
Sadness, how could you lock us in here? This isn't just a prison, it's a nightmare. But know this, I won't go down without a fight. Tim, if anything goes wrong, we'll fight our way out. No one leaves us here.
Ugh, what a horrible place. These rainbow walls look disgusting and are not cheerful at all. Tim, try not to touch anything. Who knows what germs might be here?
Hey, it's Sadness. But why is she chasing us? Maybe she wants to tell us something. Tim, don't stop, but stay alert.
Sadness, if this is another trap, I won't tolerate it. But if she really wants to say something, why doesn't she stop and explain? Tim, keep running, but stay sharp.
Why does she look so strange? And why this chase in the first place? This looks disgusting. Tim, don't let her get too close. Who knows what she's up to?
Phew, I was so worried. It's good that Tim managed to escape, but what do we do now? What other traps might lie ahead? Tim, be very careful.
Guys, I don't know what's waiting for us ahead, but Tim's got everything under control. Look how skillfully and beautifully he's digging. He's doing great.
This is just horrible. Lava everywhere. Tim, be very careful. One wrong step and you could fall. I'm so worried about you. Please be attentive and cautious.
Damn it, why does there have to be lava here? This is just unbearable. Tim, be careful and don't stop. We have to get through this, no matter what.
Ugh, that was simply awful. The lava, the heat, and that unbearable smell. But Tim made it. Let's hope the next challenge is less disgusting.
Wow, guys, look at that huge ball. It looks very dangerous and mesmerizing. Tim needs to be careful here.
Oh, this is really scary. If Tim doesn't get away in time, that huge ball could cause him serious harm. We need to hope that he is fast and careful enough to avoid this.
Come on, Tim, you're almost there. Just a little bit more and you've got this. I believe in you.
Yes, Tim made it, but this prison is just awful. I can't wait to finally leave this disgusting place.
Guys, I suggest we take a little break and listen to a few interesting stories while Tim is escaping from the prison. Haven't liked and subscribed yet? I'll give you 5 seconds to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. If you missed it, I'm giving you another 5 seconds, and let's get started. When we became emotions in Nina's head, we immediately noticed that she was very withdrawn and reluctant to interact with other children. Nina often sat alone during lessons and breaks, and she found it hard to make friends. It was sad to see her joyful moments go unnoticed by those around her. I dreamed that she could open up and share her inner happiness with others. I knew I could help her if I tried harder to show how fun and interesting interaction can be.
However, I was in constant anxiety. I understood that Nina experienced a lot of fear when it came to socializing. Every time she needed to talk to someone or take part in a group task, her heart would start racing and she would become even more withdrawn. I worried that her fears were preventing her from opening up and building relationships. We needed to find a way to help her overcome these anxious feelings so she could feel more confident in social interactions.
I was frustrated when I saw that other kids didn't always understand Nina and sometimes judged her for being unsocial. It was unfair and wrong. I was angry that she had to feel lonely because of this issue and how sometimes others could hurt her. I knew something needed to be done to change the situation, and my anger turned into determination to help Nina improve her life.
At first, I felt disgusted seeing Nina isolate herself from others, with her fears and indecision worsening. It seemed like she was living in her own world, completely cut off from social life. I felt that these internal barriers were preventing her from enjoying social interactions. Therefore, we needed to help her overcome this sense of disgust towards interacting with others.
Initially, we decided to create small but joyful moments for Nina to help her feel more confident. We encouraged her to try participating in simple and enjoyable activities like games with friends or club activities. I used every opportunity to show Nina how communication could bring joy and satisfaction. Gradually, she started becoming more open to interactions and realized that socializing could be fun and pleasant.
I helped Nina manage her anxiety when she faced new situations. I tried to support her by reminding her that many of her fears weren't as terrifying as she imagined. We discussed her fears together, and I helped her gradually step out of her comfort zone, taking small steps.
From time to time, I felt anger towards those who didn't try to understand Nina or made her feel even more uncomfortable. But this anger helped me be more determined in supporting Nina, who worked on building her confidence so she could stand up to injustice and not let it hinder her development.
I learned to control my disgust and turn it into positive energy. We looked for ways to make Nina more open and receptive to interaction by creating comfortable and friendly situations. Gradually, Nina began to pay less attention to her sense of disgust towards socializing and started enjoying communication.
And then, after some time, Nina became significantly more sociable. She started making new friends, participating in group activities, and enjoying interactions with other children. I saw her face light up with happiness when she socialized and made friends. It was a moment we all had been waiting for, and I was incredibly happy to see Nina opening up and starting to enjoy socializing.
My anxiety gradually decreased as I saw Nina handling new situations. I was proud that her fears weren't stopping her and that she was finding joy in socializing. I knew she would continue to grow and develop.
I was satisfied that I was able to help Nina become more confident and sociable. My anger towards those who might have hurt her was now replaced by pride in her achievements. Nina was ready to face challenges, and we all made that possible together.
My disgust towards Nina's isolation and social rejection was now replaced by satisfaction. I was glad that Nina was able to overcome her internal barriers and find her place in the world.
Well, did you like it? If so, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll share another story with you. Today, we're all feeling a tremendous amount of excitement and joy. Our boy Tim has received an invitation to an amazing magical city that exists only in ancient fairy tales. We, his emotions, are ready to embark on this thrilling journey with him. Just imagine how many wonderful moments await us. Getting into this city is no easy feat, and Tim and I will have to face many exciting challenges. I can already see his face lighting up with happiness, and this is just the beginning.
But I can't help but worry. A journey to a magical city is always filled with surprises, and not all of them might be pleasant. We don't know what awaits us around every corner. There might be complex puzzles, dangerous situations, or magical creatures that could become obstacles. I'm afraid Tim might face challenges that could be too difficult for him. We need to be prepared for any outcome and help him deal with possible troubles.
I also feel a surge of anger, especially when I think about the potential difficulties. If anyone or anything tries to obstruct our journey, whether it's evil wizards or cunning traps, I'm ready to channel my anger and protect Tim. I won't tolerate anything standing in our way to reach our goal. We must stay strong and determined despite any obstacles that may come our way.
I can't ignore that this magical city isn't always perfect. While it seems enchanting, there might be strange or unpleasant things hidden within it. We could encounter magical creatures that are disgusting or dangerous. Labyrinths filled with webs or mysterious beings with unpleasant appearances might invoke my disgust. We need to be prepared to handle such unpleasantness and not let it distract us from our goal.
Despite all the concerns and worries, we're moving forward with great pleasure. Every new step reveals more wonders and amazing places. We meet friendly creatures, participate in magical games, and enjoy the beauty of the magical city. Seeing Tim open up and smile makes this entire journey especially meaningful and joyful.
I continue to be on guard, but I notice that my anxiety is gradually fading as we tackle the challenges. Tim is becoming more confident, and I'm starting to believe that we can handle any difficulties. We find solutions and deal with problems that arise along the way. This reduces my worries and helps me focus on supporting Tim further.
My anger hasn't disappeared, but now it's directed at protecting Tim from any potential threats. When we encounter difficulties or unpleasant situations, I remain resolute and ready to tackle any obstacle. In the end, our determination and bravery will help us overcome everything we encounter on our path.
In the end, our journey to the magical city becomes a true adventure. We manage to overcome all the challenges, enjoy the beauty, and learn many new things. Tim returns home full of impressions and happiness, and we, his emotions, are proud to have been part of this amazing journey. We've learned to handle our emotions and support each other in any situation, making our experience even more valuable and joyful.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.
Hello, everyone! It's me, Joy, along with my friends Anxiety, Anger, and Disgust. Today, our boy Tim is going to take on the exciting mode called Disgust Berries Prison Run. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that Tim can get out of here safely.
What? Disgust! Why did you lock us up in this prison? Why did you lock Tim up? This could be really dangerous.
What? Disgust? Are you kidding me? This is your doing? I'm furious. Why would you do this?
Guys, believe me, I really have nothing to do with this. Maybe it's just a poor imitation of me. I would never do something so disgusting to Tim.
Guys, let's not fight. We're a team, we should stay positive. Besides, look around, it's actually quite fascinating and interesting in here
And very dangerous. Every room here feels like a nightmare to me.
Oh, wow, look! Do you see that figure up ahead? It looks just like disgust. How is that even possible? This is infuriating. I'm boiling with anger. How dare they?
We need to find a way out of here. Hey, look over there. Ventilation. If we can reach it, we might be able to escape.
Ugh! Why is it always ventilation? It's so dirty and cramped. But fine, if this is our only way out, we'll have to crawl through it. But I'm protesting.
We're almost there. Just a little more and we'll be saved. It's so exciting, like being in a real movie. We'll make it and everything will be all right.
We did it. We escaped. Now he can't get us. But we need to keep moving to find the exit and finally put this nightmare behind us.
Oh, it stinks so badly here. It's really disgusting. I can't wait until we finally get to fresh air. I hope this path leads to something less revolting.
We're heading down. Tim, are you sure this is a good idea?
Don't worry, Anxiety. Tim always has everything under control. Just a little more and we'll be free. I'm confident about that.
Wow, where are we? What is this dungeon? Everything looks so bright and big. It feels strange.
And it also smells really bad. Oh God, when will we get out of this horrible prison? Subscribers, help us out! Please like and subscribe to our channel. It will give Tim the motivation to keep going if he sees that hundreds of people are rooting for him.
Oh no! This bridge is very dangerous. I'm really worried about our boy Tim. Please be careful, Tim. We always end up in risky situations.
The bridge is crossed. Everything's fine, Anxiety. No need to panic. Tim will handle it.
So here's another challenge ahead. It looks easy, but we need to be extremely careful. Oh no, what's that huge ball? It could crush us.
Tim, run faster. This is very dangerous. Don't get hit by the ball, please. Wait a minute. What are those on the walls? Are they memories? But where did they come from? What are they doing here?
Guys, I'm starting to get confused. The control panel at the beginning, the memories, the bright objects. Where are we even? Maybe Tim ended up in someone's head. Perhaps somewhere in a memory warehouse?
I don't know, but I'm really scared. A copy of Disgust is chasing us again. How many of them are there, and why does it look so much like our friend?
I'm about to erupt lava, I swear. I'm so angry. This is happening again. This place is full of mysteries we still can't solve.
Phew, it looks like we've escaped. She was so disgusting. I'm glad Tim got away from her. She looked terrible and smelled even worse. I hope we don't run into her again.
Guys, let's run up the stairs. See, everything's fine. We're safe for now. No need to panic or be scared.
How about we share a few interesting stories with our viewers while Tim finds his way out?
I think that's a great idea. It will help us distract ourselves from this nightmare and feel less scared. Everyone, give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear some stories from us.
Well, I think our viewers have already liked and subscribed. Tim was always looking for adventure, and here he found himself in an abandoned castle full of mysteries and secrets. He was thrilled to discover such a place, and each new discovery brought him more joy. Exploring the ancient corridors and investigating old objects was a real pleasure for him. I was happy with him, seeing his enthusiasm and excitement.
But with each step, I became more and more nervous. The castle was dark and abandoned, and the silence around us only intensified my fears. Every creak and rustle made me anxious, and I worried that Tim might run into something dangerous. My concerns grew as he explored dark corners and labyrinthine hallways. I was worried for his safety and was on the verge of panic.
When strange things started happening in the castle, I couldn't stay calm. Doors creaked, and sometimes it felt like someone was watching us. This was outrageous. Why did the old castle have to be so mystical and frightening? I was ready to fight these mysterious forces to protect him and ensure his safety. I couldn't stand by and watch the castle scare him.
Some parts of the castle were just disgusting. We encountered decaying furniture, moldy walls, and dust that was almost visible. The smell of mustiness and decay was terrible. These places were so dirty and unpleasant that I felt uncomfortable. The castle was not only scary but also extremely unpleasant to the senses.
Despite all the difficulties and fears, Tim continued to enjoy the adventure. He found an old diary that told the story of the castle's past and its inhabitants. This was a real treasure. Tim was thrilled with his discoveries and proud that he could uncover part of the history of this mysterious place. His joy and satisfaction were contagious, and even in the spooky atmosphere, he continued to find positive moments.
As events became more strange, I was on the verge of panic. Instead of the usual silence of the castle, we began to hear eerie sounds and creaks, and in some places, the air felt heavy and oppressive. I worried about Tim's safety and wanted him to get out of this scary place as soon as possible.
I was infuriated when Tim encountered the most frightening parts of the castle, full of creepy frescoes and symbols. Why did the old place have to be so horrible and uncomfortable? I was outraged that the castle was trying to scare Tim and disrupt his adventure. This was unfair and unacceptable. I wanted Tim to leave all these scary things behind and find a safe place.
When Tim finally got out of the darkest corners of the castle, I felt relieved. The castle was not only scary, but also an extremely unpleasant place. I was glad that all of this was behind us and hoped Tim would never encounter anything like it again.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim was thrilled with his discoveries and adventures. He was proud that he had overcome his fears and explored the abandoned castle. Coming home brought relief and joy. Tim told his friends about his impressions, and his eyes once again sparkled with happiness. This adventure became a unique and unforgettable experience for him. We were all glad that, despite all the fears and discomforts, he found joy and satisfaction in this unusual journey.
So guys, did you enjoy it? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really motivates us to take on new challenges.
The next story is about how we were emotions in the mind of an evil scientist. When we found ourselves in Dr. Green's mind, an evil scientist, I was consumed with righteous anger. He used his intellect to create things that could harm others. It infuriated me. How can one waste their talents on destruction when they could be creating something useful? I decided our task was to channel his energy into a more constructive direction.
We started by trying to spark an interest in him for things that could bring joy and benefit. Instead of dark experiments, we aimed to inspire him to focus on something positive. At one point, he even became interested in creating devices that could improve people's lives. That was a huge step forward. Every time he did something kind or useful, we rejoiced with him, and his mood gradually improved.
Of course, I was constantly worried that he might revert to his old habits. His dark thoughts and plans still occasionally surfaced, and I was anxious that he might become evil again. Whenever he delved into his grim schemes, I tried to redirect his attention to something brighter and more positive. It felt like we were walking on thin ice, and any misstep could ruin everything.
I was particularly disturbed by his experiments, which were often unethical and dangerous. I felt revulsion towards how he treated his subjects and the experiments themselves. We began pushing him to reconsider his methods and think about the consequences of his actions. Gradually, he started to understand that he could be beneficial rather than harmful. His approach to his work became more responsible and ethical.
Over time, we saw Dr. Green begin to change. He became more open, started participating in community projects, and helped other scientists. His work ceased to be dark and threatening. Instead, he focused on creating inventions that could improve people's lives and help the environment. This path was not easy, but eventually, he became a kind and respected scientist. We were thrilled to help him see the brighter side and find the strength for change.
Sometimes he still experienced bursts of anger, but now they were directed at fighting injustice and improving the world. He used his passion and energy to do good rather than evil. We saw him becoming happier and more satisfied with his work and life overall. It was a true miracle to see him transform from an evil scientist into a kind and caring person.
Hooray! Tim defeated the final boss and we finally escaped from the prison. We are free!
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
Hello, dear friends.
Hello.
Hello!
Hi.
Today we will be escaping from prison in Roblox in the mode Barry's Prison Run. But before the escape begins, we wanted to ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment on which map Joe should play next.
Yes, this really helps Joe. When you engage with the video, it becomes easier for Joe to complete the modes. Let's help him out.
Again with the vents. I hate them. Just let me know who the person is that installs them, and I'll fry them like a firecracker and blow them up.
Anger, calm down. We've already gotten out of it.
I think we should jump on those blocks to move forward.
Joe, don't look down. I'm really scared. Be careful when jumping on these blocks. If you fall, you'll land on the spikes.
It's so cold here, probably because of those large fans blowing in this direction.
Yes, I agree with you. It's very cold here.
I don't know. I actually feel quite warm.
Wow, these grates don't look very sturdy. Maybe we should look for another way?
No, there's no other way. We have to go through these grates. Joe, be careful when you jump on them.
I think we should break this grate with that key. Joe, take this key and break this grate.
It seems to me like this vent is connected to the bathroom, or why does it smell so bad here? I really dislike this odor.
Disgust, I think you're mistaken. I hear some screams. I think there's danger ahead. Joe, be careful.
Anxiety, you were right. There's a guard there. Joe, you need to be very fast to avoid getting caught by him.
Joe, run away from him quickly. If he catches you, he'll send you back behind bars. I don't think this pipe is meant for walking on.
Don't worry, Joe isn't heavy. He won't be able to break this pipe. Many people have walked and even jumped on it before Joe. As you can see, it's not broken.
Oh no, we forgot to press that red button to open that grate. We need to go down and press it. Joe, be careful not to get caught by the guard. It'll be really bad if you do.
Don't worry about him. He's very, very fat. I think he eats planets for breakfast. He'll never catch you. Even if you walk, he won't catch you. I don't know how they hire such fat guards. He can't catch anyone. Ha ha ha, don't be angry, guard. If you lose weight, you'll be able to catch everyone.
Stop insulting the guard already. It might hurt his feelings. Just run away from him. I even feel sorry for him.
Ah, these damn vents again. How much longer?
I was right after all. It is connected to the bathroom. Ew, it smells so bad here.
Yes, you were right. I really don't like this smell. It's just unbearable.
I completely agree with you. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible.
Here is the source of the smell. Don't pay attention to it, Joe. You need to take that shovel and start digging. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
It seems like a good time for stories. Oh, what a wonderful day it was when Joe decided to cook for the whole family. The kitchen was filled with excitement and anticipation. I could feel the joy bubbling up inside as we gathered ingredients and prepared to create something delicious.
Ugh, cooking again? Why does Joe always have to make such a mess? The chaos in the kitchen was infuriating. Spices scattered everywhere, pots clanging loudly. But I kept my cool, trying not to let my anger boil over.
The smells. Oh, the smells! As soon as Joe started chopping onions, my stomach turned. The pungent aroma filled the air, making me want to gag. Why couldn't Joe choose something less aromatic?
Oh dear, what if Joe burns the food again? I couldn't help but worry as I watched him handle the hot stove. What if something goes wrong? I fretted over every step, hoping we wouldn't end up with another kitchen disaster.
Despite the initial chaos and doubts, Joe's determination and our teamwork prevailed. We all pitched in, each of us playing our part to make sure everything turned out just right. The aroma of a well-cooked meal filled the kitchen, bringing smiles to everyone's faces.
Surprisingly, the food actually tasted good. Maybe Joe isn't so bad in the kitchen after all. I grudgingly admit that all the effort was worth it in the end.
I must admit, despite my initial aversion to the smells, the final dish looked quite appetizing. I cautiously tried a bite and was pleasantly surprised. It was delicious. Perhaps cooking isn't as bad as I thought.
Whew, everything turned out okay. I can relax now. Watching Joe cook was nerve-wracking, but I'm glad we were able to help him and enjoy a meal together as a family.
Now we will tell a story about how Joe learned to swim. Oh, what an exciting day it was when Joe decided to learn how to swim. The sun was shining brightly, and the pool shimmered invitingly. I could feel the anticipation and enthusiasm building up as we gathered by the water's edge.
Why does Joe have to do this now? The water is cold, and I hate getting wet. The thought of dealing with all this splashing and chaos is infuriating, but I tried to keep calm and not let my frustration show.
Oh no! What if Joe sinks or gets hurt? My heart raced with worry as I watched him hesitate at the edge of the pool. What if something goes wrong? I fretted over every possible scenario, fearing the worst.
The water, it's so gross. I can't stand the feeling of it on my skin, and the thought of all those germs floating around makes me shudder. Why did Joe have to choose swimming of all things?
Despite my initial concerns, Joe showed determination and courage. With our encouragement, he took small steps into the water, and I could feel his excitement growing with each stroke.
Ugh, more splashing. Why does learning to swim have to be so messy? I grumbled inwardly, but begrudgingly admitted that Joe was making progress, even if it was annoying.
I held my breath as Joe practiced floating and kicking. Every little splash made me jump with anxiety, but I was relieved to see him improving under our watchful eyes.
The chlorine smell? It's overwhelming. I tried to stay back as much as possible, but I couldn't avoid the sensation of being surrounded by water. At least Joe seemed to be getting the hang of it, despite my discomfort.
Now I'll tell you a story about how Joe flew on a plane for the first time.
Oh, it's so exciting! I can't believe the feelings Joe is experiencing right now. I'm just overflowing with joy seeing him here in the airplane. His heart is racing as we take off, his eyes shining with delight. He dreamed of flying for so long, and now, finally, his dream is coming true. I feel his emotions filling every cell of his body. How he enjoys the views outside the window. How he smiles at every flight attendant and seatmate. It's wonderful to be a part of this moment of joy.
This airplane is absolutely dreadful. How can anyone sit comfortably in this cramped space? Why is everyone so slow and inattentive? These flight attendants are just useless. Why couldn't we choose a more comfortable flight? I'm seething with anger every time I see how we're being served. This is simply unacceptable. Joe, why aren't you showing more initiative? Why are you satisfied with this service? This flight isn't even worth our time and money.
What if something goes wrong? I'm nervous beyond belief. All these sounds, movements, vibrations. I can't stop thinking about potential issues. Flying on a plane is so dangerous. What if we have an accident? What if something happens to the engine? Joe doesn't realize all these risks. He's just enjoying the flight. But I fear for him. I feel his fear overwhelming me. His anxiety makes me worry and suffer. Every minute of this flight is a test for our nerves.
How can anyone stand being here? It's just a nightmare. This smell, these sounds, this cramped space. I just can't. I feel disgust washing over me with every breath Joe takes. How can he not feel this horrible atmosphere? It's all so dirty, so unpleasant. I just want to get out of here as quickly as possible. Joe, why can't you hear my cry of disgust? Why don't you understand that this place is simply hell on earth? The next story is about how Joe entered a new class and got to know his new classmates.
It was so exciting. When Joe entered the new class, I couldn't help but rejoice with him. His face lit up with a smile as he greeted his new classmates. He was so open and friendly. He quickly found common ground with the kids in the class, started talking to them, and showing interest in their hobbies. It was wonderful to see him blossom in this new environment, his eyes shining with joy from making new friends. We tried to support him, encourage him, and help him overcome any shyness. Each of his successes brought me immense joy.
I am just furious about this situation. Joe in a new class and his classmates, they are just unpleasant. Why aren't they showing more kindness towards him? Why aren't they making more effort to get to know him better? I am angry at how they are treating him. It's unacceptable. I quickly grew angry seeing how they ignore his attempts to befriend them. Joe deserves better. Why isn't he standing up for himself more? I'm ready to explode with anger if he continues to endure this.
I was terrified when Joe walked into that class. New people, new surroundings. How would he cope? What if they didn't accept him? We agonized over every word he said, every step he took. He looked so tense trying to start a conversation with his classmates. And what if they didn't understand his feelings and intentions? I felt his anxiety, how it overwhelmed him every minute. We tried to give him cues, support him, but every uncertain look he gave to those mocking faces intensified my fears. It was such a nerve-wracking experience.
I feel disgust overwhelming me as Joe tries to interact with these people. They are so unpleasant and hypocritical. How can he stand being in the same class with such awful people? I can't stand their appearance, their voices, their mannerisms. And every time Joe tries to engage in a conversation, I want to close my eyes and escape from here. This atmosphere fills me with disgust, and I hope Joe soon realizes what terrible people surround him.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Bye, everyone! Hello, everyone, dear friends. I'm Joy, and we're so happy to see you again. Today, we have an incredible adventure planned. But before we start, let's make sure you're subscribed to our channel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Disgust, and I'm here too. Yes, Joy, you're right. But don't you all want to hit that subscribe button and give us a like so you don't miss our new videos?
Exactly. Your likes and subscriptions help us create more interesting content for you. And don't forget to click the bell so you're always notified about our new releases.
And of course, leave a comment. We always love to hear your opinions. Just remember to keep it clean and polite. After all, no one wants to read nasty comments.
Thank you for your support. It really means a lot to us. So, are you ready for a new adventure?
Let's get started. And remember, subscribing, liking, and commenting are your tickets to our next incredible journey.
Today, Tim will be stealing diamonds from a jewelry store in Roblox.
I don't think we should do this. It's very dangerous. What if he gets caught and sent to jail? What if he gets into trouble and something happens to him? I'm very worried about our boy Tim. Look through this window. There are lasers, and I've heard about them. It's a security system. If you touch one of those lasers, the alarm will go off. You mustn't touch those beams under any circumstances, or there will be trouble.
Wow, look at all these lasers. It's like we're in a high-tech spy movie. Isn't it exciting? I just know Tim is going to navigate through this like a pro.
Exciting? This is a disaster waiting to happen. Those lasers are set up to catch us in one wrong move. And look at that guard over there. This is not going to be easy.
Look, the guard is asleep at his desk. This is incredible. It's our chance to slip by while he hasn't noticed us. What luck?
He's asleep? This is infuriating. He's not even doing his job, and we have to risk everything because of his laziness. We need to act quickly and carefully not to wake him up.
This is so risky. If he wakes up, we could be in serious trouble. We need to move extremely carefully and avoid making any noise.
Ugh, what a disgusting guard. Even asleep at his desk with everything around him dirty. All right, let's focus on not waking him up.
Don't worry. Everything will be fine. Tim, move quietly and cautiously. We have a chance to get through this if we stay smart and focused.
Be careful, Tim. Move past him quietly without making any noise. If anything goes wrong, this lazy guard could get us into serious trouble.
Stay focused on what you're doing. Don't make sudden movements and try not to make any noise. If the guard wakes up, it will be a disaster.
Tim, just stay away from that disgusting guard and be careful. I hope he doesn't wake up and cause us more problems.
We can do this if we work together and stay positive. Good luck, Tim. We believe in you. Today, we have an incredible story about how Tim went on a space adventure. It all started when he won a ticket on a spaceship in an intergalactic lottery. Can you imagine? A real spaceship. Tim was thrilled and immediately began preparing for the journey.
Yeah, I remember how worried I was. Space is so huge and unknown. What if the ship breaks down? Or what if they run out of oxygen? I kept thinking about these dangers and couldn't calm down.
Seriously, anxiety, calm down a bit. Tim can handle it. What irritated me more was the thought that the spaceship might be unreliable. And what if someone on the crew turned out to be irresponsible? I was ready to take on anyone who tried to stop Tim.
Let's not forget about cleanliness. Spaceships can be so dirty. Dust, germs, all that stuff disgusts me. I hope they had good filters and cleaners on board.
When Tim finally took off, it was amazing. He saw Earth from space, like a blue marble floating in the vastness. And then the real adventures began. The first destination was the mysterious planet Zilonia, covered in luminescent jungles.
But the jungles looked so dangerous. Unknown creatures, poisonous plants. I kept thinking something terrible was about to happen.
Listen, anxiety, stop being scared. Tim is a true hero. He made it through the jungle despite all the dangers. And when one of the creatures tried to attack him, he bravely defended himself.
Don't forget that the jungle was full of dirt and slime. But Tim kept moving forward. That surprised me a bit, because I would have gone home at the first hint of dirt.
And finally, after all the trials, Tim found an ancient temple hidden deep in the jungle. Inside the temple was a magical crystal that could grant wishes. Tim used it to return home and share his incredible adventures with his friends.
I was so happy when he came back safe and sound. All those dangers, it was too much for me.
Yeah, I'm glad too. But the main thing is that Tim proved that courage and determination can overcome any obstacle.
And thank goodness he finally cleaned up after all those adventures. Cleanliness is the key to health.
We have a fantastic story about how Tim discovered a hidden underwater city. It all started when he found an ancient map in his attic. The map showed the way to the legendary city of Atlantica, said to be filled with treasures and secrets. Tim was ecstatic and couldn't wait to embark on this underwater adventure.
Oh, I remember how worried I was. Diving deep into the ocean? What if his oxygen tank ran out? Or if he encountered dangerous sea creatures? The ocean is vast and unpredictable, and my mind was racing with all the possible dangers.
Seriously, anxiety, chill out. Tim's got this. What really got me fired up was the thought that someone else might find the city first and steal all the treasures. Tim had to be quick and brave to get there before anyone else.
Ew! Let's not forget about the ocean. It's filled with all sorts of unpleasant things. Seaweed, fish slime, and who knows what else. I was just hoping Tim had a good wetsuit to keep all that yuck away.
When Tim finally set off on his journey, he used a high-tech submarine to dive deep into the ocean. He saw incredible things, colorful coral reefs, schools of shimmering fish, and even a playful dolphin that guided him part of the way. It was like entering a magical world beneath the waves.
Enough with the fear. Tim was determined. When he finally saw the outline of Atlantica, he knew he was on the right track. But then he had to navigate through a maze of underwater caves. It made my blood boil thinking about all the obstacles he had to overcome, but Tim kept pushing forward.
But then, as he got closer to the location marked on the map, the water became darker and more ominous. Strange shadows moved in the depths, and I couldn't stop thinking about what might be lurking there. My heart was pounding with worry.
And let's not forget the murky water in those caves. It was filled with silt and algae. Just gross. But Tim bravely swam through, keeping his eyes on the prize. I had to admire his determination, even if it was pretty disgusting down there.
Finally, Tim emerged into a vast underwater cavern where the city of Atlantica lay before him. It was breathtaking. Ancient structures covered in sea plants, glowing with a mysterious light. And in the center of the city was a treasure trove filled with gold, jewels, and artifacts from a long-lost civilization.
I was so relieved when he found the treasure. But then I started worrying about how he would get it all back to the surface safely. What if something went wrong?
Tim's no quitter. He carefully packed up as much as he could carry and made his way back through the caves. When he finally surfaced, I was cheering. He'd done it. He'd found Atlantica and its treasures.
And he made it back without getting too covered in sea slime, which was a huge relief. Tim's adventure was incredible, but I was glad he was back on dry land.
Once, Tim decided to go on a treasure hunt in an abandoned castle. We were all thrilled about this adventure. Just imagine, old walls, hidden passages, and secret rooms full of mysteries. Tim was ready for any challenges because at the end of the journey, untold riches awaited him.
But of course, I started to worry immediately. What if the castle collapses? Or what if there are ghosts? Tim was so determined that my worries only grew. Every creaking floorboard made me anxious. Tim, be careful. Are you sure this is safe? I kept repeating over and over.
And I was furious at anxiety for her constant fears. Enough already with the fear anxiety. Tim is doing great. And anyway, if he meets anyone, I'll take care of it myself, I grumbled. This castle is nothing compared to our determination.
And I was disgusted by the state of the place. Dust, cobwebs, and strange smells. It was too much. Ugh, Tim. Just look at how dirty it is here. Be careful. Don't touch anything with your hands, I warned.
But Tim didn't give up. He found clues, solved puzzles, and got closer to the treasure room. And finally, he opened an old chest full of gold and jewels. We all rejoiced. It was an incredible adventure that showed our fears and doubts were in vain. Tim proved that with determination and bravery, any obstacles can be overcome. That's how our thrilling journey ended. I hope you enjoyed it. We're so glad you joined us for this adventure. We hope you enjoyed our stories and had as much fun as we did.
Yes, yes. And if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really important for us to keep you updated on all our new adventures. Also, please give us a thumbs up so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't delay. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We worked hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now.
Yes, and don't forget to leave a comment. We want to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next.
Thank you so much for your support. We can't wait to see you again and embark on new adventures together. See you soon, friends. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you're with us again. Today, we're in for something truly creepy, but that only makes it more thrilling. We're going to play a mode called Escape Evil Dog House. Imagine a house full of dark corridors, strange noises, and maybe even an evil dog chasing us at every turn. We have to find a way out, and we'll need all our courage and wits to do it.
Oh, this house. The more I think about it, the more anxious I get. What if we can't find the exit? And what if there's something even scarier inside than we can imagine? I'm already uneasy just thinking about the name, Evil Dog House. Anything could be in there. Every time you hit the subscribe button and it helps calm me down a bit because I know you're with us and supporting us through this tough challenge.
Yes, guys, your support is really important to us. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do it right now. Smash that like button if you enjoy watching us face these scary challenges, and don't forget to click the bell so you can be the first to know when we upload new videos. And you know what? Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about today's mode, and let us know if you have ideas for other games we should play next. We always love reading your thoughts and suggestions.
And please don't forget about the bell. I'm always worried that someone might miss our videos, especially ones as intense as today's. Your subscriptions and likes give me confidence that we're not alone in this creepy house, that you're with us, and that helps me deal with the fear. Well, I guess it's time to start. I just hope we can make it out of there safe and sound.
Ugh, this place is absolutely revolting. I mean, just look at these walls. They're covered in grime, and I swear I saw something slimy moving in the corner over there. And the smell. It's unbearable. It's like a mix of wet dog, moldy food, and something sour. I can barely stand to be in here, let alone think about how we're supposed to escape. And don't even get me started on the thought of touching anything in this house. Every door handle, every step, every inch of this place is probably covered in germs and filth. The very idea of brushing up against something in here makes my skin crawl. How are we supposed to find a way out when every surface is so disgusting? I'm almost more afraid of getting covered in dirt and grime than I am of that so-called evil dog that's supposed to be lurking around. And speaking of that dog, I shudder to think about what it might look like. I mean, if this house is any indication, it's probably just as filthy, drooling, and covered in who knows what. Ugh, this is going to be one long, nauseating escape, and I'm not looking forward to getting any closer to whatever that dog is. We need to find a way out of here, and fast, before I lose it completely in this repulsive place.
Story time. Story will be about how Tim found a stray dog and brought it home. Oh, what a wonderful day. Tim found this adorable puppy on the street, and he looked so sad and lost. You can't imagine how my heart fluttered with joy when Tim decided to bring him home. Those big, curious eyes of the puppy just made me smile. I felt my heart overflowing with happiness as Tim embraced him, and the puppy shivered with excitement and hope. I could already imagine how we would play together, how Tim would train him, and how they would spend time outside. It was so touching. The puppy was full of energy and joy, and I was sure he would bring a lot of happiness into our home. We'd have games, training sessions, and of course, a lot of time spent together. It would be just perfect.
I have to admit, despite all the joy, I was tormented by doubts and fears. I kept worrying that this could be dangerous. The puppy could not only be dirty, but also carry some diseases. What if he had health issues that could spread to others? Or if he started behaving aggressively? We needed to prepare as well as we could. We might face unforeseen problems, such as allergies to fur or the need for frequent vet visits. And how would we explain to Tim's parents that we now had another pet? These questions kept nagging at me. I was adamant about the need for health checks for the puppy and ensuring he had all his vaccinations. After all, our health and safety come first.
When I saw anxiety starting to panic, I just blew up. How much worrying can we do? We need to look at the situation with optimism and energy. This puppy needs our help and love, not endless fears and doubts. Yes, I understand that there could be problems, but shouldn't we give this little guy a chance? We can and should handle any difficulties. I was ready to stand up for our new friend and show that we could manage. Training, discipline, care, these all require effort, but that's no reason to worry. We are up to the task. I made sure the puppy was well behaved, that he wasn't misbehaving, and that he wasn't creating problems. In the end, we can handle any situation if we work together.
Okay, I admit that my initial reaction wasn't the best. This puppy was in terrible shape, and I couldn't stand looking at his dirty fur and the awful smell. It was revolting when I saw him climbing onto the sofa and leaving dirt everywhere. But to be honest, I softened a bit when I saw Tim and Joy starting to clean him up. Oh, I immediately told them we needed to wash and disinfect everything thoroughly to get rid of all the dirt. Now that the puppy is clean and tidy, I started to see him differently. Still, I keep a close eye on cleanliness to ensure he doesn't leave fur all over the house or dirty our belongings. But, to be honest, I've gotten used to his presence and even found him cute when he happily runs around.
Now that the puppy has become a part of our lives, we helped Tim adapt to the new responsibilities. Joy was over the moon watching Tim and the puppy play in the park, how they learned new commands together and simply enjoyed the time spent together. Anger relentlessly ensured that the puppy learned all the necessary lessons and became more disciplined. Disgust, though trying to be tolerant, still checked to make sure the house was always clean and tidy. And anxiety was still worried, but increasingly calmed down as she saw the puppy growing and becoming part of the family. We all helped Tim handle the new challenge and adapt to life with a new pet, and it was a whole adventure full of joy, care, and trials. Here's a long story about Tim helping stray animals, written from the perspectives of joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust. Let's dive into a heartwarming story about Tim, who showed immense kindness to stray animals. It all began on a chilly autumn day, when Tim stumbled upon a group of hungry stray animals huddled together in a park. As he approached them, he noticed their sad, hungry eyes. With a bright smile, Tim immediately decided to help. He went home and gathered all the leftover food he could find, along with some water. Returning to the park, Tim set up a little feeding station, carefully placing bowls of food and water for the animals. The joy in his heart was palpable as he watched the strays begin to eat, their tails wagging and their eyes lighting up with gratitude. It was such a wonderful sight to see Tim making a difference in their lives.
Of course, while Tim was doing something admirable, it wasn't without its challenges. Not everyone was pleased with his actions. Some people in the neighborhood didn't appreciate the presence of stray animals and complained about the mess they made. One day, a grumpy old man came to Tim and angrily scolded him for feeding the strays. He even tried to scare them away, which made Tim very angry. It was infuriating to see someone ruin the good work Tim was trying to do. But despite the anger and the setbacks, Tim stood his ground and continued to care for the animals, determined to do what was right.
I couldn't help but feel anxious about Tim's safety throughout this endeavor. Every time he went to feed the animals, I worried about whether he would be safe, especially with the neighborhood's mixed reactions. There were concerns about whether the animals might become aggressive, or if Tim might face trouble from the local authorities or other people. The uncertainty of the situation was nerve-wracking. I constantly feared that something might go wrong, but Tim was always cautious and took necessary precautions to ensure his safety and the well-being of the animals.
I have to admit, the whole situation wasn't entirely pleasant. The park, where Tim had set up the feeding station, often became quite dirty. Leftover food and water created a mess, attracting not only stray animals but also other pests. The smell and the sight of the trash sometimes made me feel quite repulsed. It was tough to see the area become so unkempt. Despite Tim's good intentions, the reality of dealing with stray animals and the mess they brought was hard to handle. However, Tim never let this deter him and continued his efforts to care for the animals, showing that sometimes doing the right thing involves dealing with less pleasant aspects.
Well, friends, our adventure has come to an end. We hope you enjoyed the story about how Tim cared for stray animals. It was truly inspiring to see him showing kindness and care.
Yes, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our upcoming videos. We have many more exciting stories and adventures ahead. Your subscription is really important to us.
Also, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps us understand what interests you and motivates us to create even more engaging content.
We look forward to your comments. Let us know what you enjoyed about today's video or share your ideas for future stories. Your feedback is very important to us, and we always take your suggestions into account.
Thank you so much for your support and attention. Every like and comment makes our channel better and inspires us to achieve new things. We can't wait to see you in the next video.
Don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with all the new content on our channel. Stay with us and see you soon. Goodbye.